Yensid Organist here, and welcome to another episode of OrgelCraft. I hope you guys are having a great day today. Notice the house behind me? We are now in 119, and I have added some mangrove wood to the houses here. I thought it would look really, really nice. I did realize after putting it in that we already kind of had a red with the warped stems and warped planks and things, but I do like the color. You actually get the nice little contrast here. This is more of a purple, and then this is more of a reddish pink with, I don't know, a little bit of brown or yellow in there, but I really like this color. I really like it as an addition. So you got to see the time lapse of building up the start of these houses, but it didn't quite get finished. And so let me give you the tour, because I have gone through and done all of the detailing work here. So all of these houses are now finished. I also went through and textured the planks in here, so added some stairs, added some dark oak for a little bit of contrast. Yeah, went ahead and cleaned up my little workstation there, which I still have all of the resources because we're going to need it later in the episode. But yeah, so we've got all the houses along the dock built up here. And I stayed fairly simple in terms of the decorations. I didn't want to go too overboard with everything, just because it's an area that you're not going to see nearly as much as over there. I saw Good Times with Scar use this design of a little hanging potted plant, so used that in here as well. But yeah, so we've got all these little houses tucked in here. And a little more of that mangrove wood there. Had a little bit of fun with jungle along the edge. It might be too much, but I don't know. I kind of like it. And then that. So I'm not quite done over here, but we will come back to that in a little bit, because I want to update you on a couple other things that have been going on. So as I said, we are in 119 now, and had a live stream where we went out and attempted to find all of the new stuff. Took forever to find a mangrove swamp, but we did get there in the end. So here is some of what I have gathered. I actually need this end stone. But yeah, so we've got some of the mangrove wood and the mud and the muddy roots and the leaves, and I have way more of that over there. I'll show you that in just a second. This is a little bit of incidentals. I have more skulk. So we got one skulk sensor. We do have a skulk catalyst. We've got some skulk veins. And so we harvested some of that. Also had a terrifying encounter with the warden. Let me show you that right now. Okay, we have several serious problems here. Okay, the first is this zombie spawner. Okay. I need to get out of here. Alright. We're just gonna land up here. Whew. Okay. Yeah. So that was a thing. Yeah, by the way, did you know all of my live streams are still on this channel? And actually, if I remember and think of it before I get this episode done, I will put together a playlist, or maybe a couple playlists of all of my past live streams if you ever want to check out things that go on kind of behind the scenes sometimes. Haven't been streaming much, but I'm trying to get back into that. So, anyway... what else? We've got a whole bunch of buckets of tadpoles, and then, yeah, this was just some incidental stuff. Let's maybe consolidate all of the skulk. There we go. Okay. So that was that, and then I did a little bit of work farming up some mangroves. So all of the wood is in one of these. I don't know which. But lots of leaves. We've got some propagules and all of that. I was playing around with the mud bricks. I don't know if I left that over here or not. Because when I first saw those in the snapshots, I was like, you know, those would have looked really nice for the walls here. So I added a couple of blocks. They're a little bit of a sharp contrast to what we have, so I don't think I'm going to really sprinkle them in beyond just kind of looking at it. But I think they definitely would have been nice for the wall. We need the variation that I came up with, so obviously I'm not going to tear down all of these walls and rebuild them, but yeah, thought I would show that off. And then, of course, as you know, the Warden was not the only mob added in 119, and we were fortunate enough to find some allays. Well, I say we were fortunate enough to find some allays. I kind of forced the issue by resetting a place where I knew there was a pillager outpost. And we got 4 allays here. So let's see here if I can jump over there. Oh, look at that. Okay, so let's see here. We have Silver Mist, we have Beck, we have... Who are you? Of course, they're all flying away. I think if I let them go, they would all come down and see me. If I could... Nope, apparently I'm not going to be... There we go! Alright. So, let's see here. Vidya... Silver Mist, Beck, and if you haven't figured it out already... Hey, Allays. You want to come over here? There we go. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Here. Nope. There she is. Tinkerbell! So I thought the Allays were very reminiscent of fairies, both in how they look and in the sounds that they make. So I have named them after all of my favorite Disney fairies, with the exception of Vidya here, because if you go back and watch that live stream, or if you happened to be present for it, you'll know that we rescued 4 Allays, and the 4th one took off very, very quickly, and could not find her anywhere. And so we looked around, couldn't find her, and so kind of just gave up, and I said, okay, well, you know, I've got 3, we'll take these 3 back. As we're walking to the portal, this is over near my mining desert, as we're walking towards the portal, a good 400 or 500 blocks away, we find the 4th one just chilling out in the desert, and that is Vidya, because if you know anything about the Disney fairies, Vidya is a fast-flying fairy, so I figured I had to give her an appropriate name since she took off so quickly on us. But we've got them all here, and you notice this little setup I have. I'm going to see if I can capture all of them again, because they do have a tendency to wander off, and I'm still I'm still working with the whole design. So I have a little setup here where I've got a note block set up so that they will bring items over here. And what I basically have is a hopper clock that will, about every 25-30 seconds or so, will ping this note block. The problem is if they get too far away from it, they just give up and they keep bringing me the items. So I've had to kind of work... I think for future projects, I need to build more of these. There we go, right there. So that it will be easier to work. So, because you notice, I've been doing a little bit of landscaping here, and that is because this is one of the projects for the episode. You remember we outlined there's going to be a river here. Well, I figured I needed to kind of clear this area out. Also because it would be a great resource for stone. So I've kind of laid out where the river is going to go, and I have just been working my way down and gathering resources all along here. This is where I'm keeping all of my stone for right now, and I got a lot of these filled. So that is what I have been up to so far between episodes, and as you can see, this is where that is going to be worked out. But we're coming back to this a little bit later. Let's talk a little bit about the goals for this episode, because I'm limiting the time that I have to work on this episode, just so that I don't get bogged down like I did finishing up the castle. So the plan for today is, there's a missing block here. Hey, look, I have a dirt block. How convenient is that? Okay, so the plan for today is to finish the northern part of the harbor. I wanted to get a little bit done with the southern part, and I actually have one more thing I want to do over there. But yeah, so the plan is to finish this off to the best of our ability. So I've got a couple of places that still need orchards. I have some bigger houses that need to get made. We need windmills up here. And then I also want to put some farmland, I want to put some grazing pastures, and I want to do all of the detailing work. So trees and grass and things like that. And I'm very excited to show you what I have come up with as a solution to doing all of the custom trees, because I started down that path, and I think I've mentioned it in former videos of wanting to do all custom trees, but not, the challenge of trying to build so many by hand. And I have come up with a really cool way to be able to make all of that work. So we'll get to that a little bit later. And then, with whatever time I have left, we're going to be building up cliff walls. I have been collecting resources, so there's a number of places where I have shulker boxes and chests full of stone ready to go. That's a little bit later. I want to do the detailing work before I get to all of the cliffs. So, very, very long introduction. Let's actually start working on some projects. So one of the things that makes this part of the town, the southern part of the harbor, unique is that there are a few more docks over here which are going to allow us to put some houseboats on there. So what I want to do is I want to get a couple of docks put in place, well, maybe a bunch of docks put in place, and I'd like to just kind of come up with a design for a houseboat that I'll then be able to replicate when I come back to this later. So let me get to work on designing that. I'll bring you guys back when we've got one finished. Welcome back, everyone. Here is our first little houseboat. So very simple. So this is the little dock that I have worked up here. Just basically an extension of that, and then fence posts that go all the way down to the seafloor. But then, yeah, so we've got our little house here, and a little walkway. I decided to use the mangrove trapdoors as some portholes. And then you've got a little ladder up here to where they can steer from, and a little ship's wheel. I know it has a proper term, but I can't think of what it is. Yeah, little cobweb in an invisible item frame. Does it attach? No. Are we looking that close? No, we're not. Yeah, and so then that's that, and then this is our tiny little house. It's Minecraft. You do what you can. So let's take a look at this from the air. I'm having such issues across. There's a chunk border right there. But there it is, and I like how it looks. I think it works nicely with the rest of the village. It's got, a little bit of color to it. Yeah, I feel like the front end might be a little bulky, so I might want to refine that in future. And then I was going to have an anchor dangling from the top, but I realized if it's in port, the anchor would be down. So, the anchor's down. Did you know you couldn't waterlog anvils? Yeah, kind of annoying. But yeah, so that is the first of our little houseboats. I will be building some more of those, but not the priority for right now. It is time to turn our attention up here, and this street, if you remember, is called Windmill Way. It needs some windmills. So, I'm going to get to work designing a windmill. I should figure out probably where I want to put one. Possibly over here. This might be a good spot. Or maybe on this hillside over here. And then I need to get to designing one. And then once that's designed, then I'll want to build several more in the area. But let me get this designed and built, and I will bring you guys back when that is finished. 3 designs later, and we have a windmill. So, it was quite the process of coming up with this design, but I think it looks really nice. I think it fits in really well. It's a little big, but if we fly out here, you'll actually see that it actually blends in really nicely with the surrounding houses. So let me tell you a little bit about the process that it took to get this windmill. And we'll kind of walk around and look at it a little bit closer. So I started by just kind of Google searching Norwegian windmills from the 19th century and didn't get anything. So there's a fairly standard Dutch design that I found, but I actually found a picture of an English windmill, which I really kind of liked. It had the same shape, kind of that hexagonal shape, but it wasn't the, like, out and up that you get from the Netherlands windmills. Dutch, that was the word I was trying so hard to come up with. I wanted to say Danish, but that's not right. The Dutch windmills. And I knew I didn't want to do something like that. So I came up with a design, and I really liked it. I might show it off at some point. Yeah, and I remember I was going to stick it up on this hill here. So I started putting it in place, and I was like, oh, I did not consider scale. And so I had kind of built up the base, and I realized it was going to be huge in comparison to these houses. So I was like, okay, before I go too far with this, I'm going to go over to the testing world, and I'm going to do a size comparison. So I built up this little house in the testing world and put it next to the windmill that I had already designed, and the windmill was gigantic next to this. I was like, okay, so that doesn't work. So the next plan was to scale it down. So I scaled it down and worked through all of that process, and I came up with another design that was really, really nice. As I was working on that design, though, I realized, oh yeah, I have a reference, and I had looked through a couple of things, couple of different scenes from Frozen, and looked through the Art of Frozen book, and I had not gotten a good image of a windmill, and I was like, oh, I guess we never really do see one. And then I remembered Olaf's Frozen Adventure, where he gets stuck spinning on one of the sails of the windmill. And yeah, that was exactly what I needed. So this windmill is literally directly based on one that is in Frozen. So there we go. We've got a windmill. This is really annoying to build. I built it with the dark oak walls. And walls are not the easiest thing to build with because, you know, if you fall off onto the ground level, you can't get back up on them. So, yeah, I think I need to take a little break from windmill building. It's also very resource heavy. It's a lot of dark oak. A lot of mangrove fences. I needed something for a little bit of color, and I really, really like the mangrove color. But yeah, mangrove, probably the hardest wood to farm right now. So hopefully somebody will come up with a decent way of doing that. So anyway, long-winded explanation. We've got our windmill. I'm going to dot a few more around here, but I need to work on a different project. So I'm going to take a nap and find something else to work on. So let's talk about the tree problem. As you can see behind me, I have placed a number of custom trees in this area, and realized after spending a decent amount of time on this that, one, I need a lot of trees, and two, I really kind of want them all to be custom, and three, it's going to take forever with the area that I basically need to cover with all of this. So, so I've been thinking about different ways that I could tackle the problem of getting all custom trees in the area of the world over here where we need them. And, of course, the first thought I had was, well, do it all by hand. Again, it's going to take way, way, way too long. So the second thing that I thought of was using something like light matica or even structure blocks within the game to basically copy and paste the trees. I have come up with a few tree designs and then do that. My problem with that is that I don't like that I'm, not collecting the resources for that. And of course, I could always go gather the resources and then, just burn them as I go. But I don't know. That doesn't really feel right for me, the way that I want to interact with this world. So I started digging around and thinking about the problem, and I was like, well, maybe there's a mod or a data pack out there that would allow me to input my own custom trees, and then be able to have some mechanic within the game that would allow me to essentially grow my own custom trees. Well, lo and behold, I found a data pack that would do just that. It's a custom tree data pack, and it allows for all different kinds of trees to be grown from saplings, just in a slightly different way than you normally would. What I discovered in getting this pack was that the way it works is it builds all the trees off of structure files. So what I did, and as I was starting to kind of, look at the layers of the pack, what I discovered was I could load my own structures into the pack so that I could have my own custom trees grown. So what I have done, the way the pack is set up, it has small trees, medium trees, and large trees. So in my little tree testing area that I have going here, I have designed a few more custom trees. So this one, and this one. These were the three that I originally created and started to use over there. So I decided to count those as my medium ones. So then I came up with 3 small tree designs. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. And then I came up with 2 large designs. So we have this one large one here, and then this large one over here. And so those are the trees, and so I played around with the data pack and have been doing lots of work to get it all configured to my own custom trees, and now we are able to do that. I was testing the pack out a little earlier over here, and adding a few trees. So the pack is created by Fire Affinity over on Planet Minecraft, and I will link that. The original trees in the pack are really, really nice, and I actually debated using some of them for this world. None of the spruce trees, and I guess in the pack they're classified as fir and cypress trees. But I decided I wanted to do all of my own for right now. So all the trees that you're going to see me plant are ones that I have created. So let me show you how this works. So what we do is we take bone blocks and we rename them. Now, I've also tweaked what I name it, just to keep it separate from what the original pack was. So if I come in and hopefully I spell it correctly. So I name this Arendelle Spruce, and then what I do is we plant a sapling, and then we toss a bone block at it, and the number of bone blocks determines what kind of tree you'll get. Yes, I'm using an oak sapling, and it's because of how I needed to make the pack work. It was just easier to do it this way. But as you can see, we have a small spruce tree grown up from there. So if I do again, and this is where I have the 3 variants. So one of the 3 variants will come up, and it will also come up in one of 4 rotations and also possibly mirrored. So we can do this as well, and maybe we'll get a different one this time. Yeah, there we go. And so I thought this was a great way to just kind of build off the natural mechanic in the game, of using bone meal, sort of, to grow your own trees. And so that's the solution that I have. And then if we come over here, if I come over here and toss 6 bone blocks at it, if there's enough room. Which there isn't. Okay. It does check to make sure that you have room to grow the trees. So let's try it over there. So if I do that, we should get a medium tree. Yep, there we go. And then let's go up into the hills here. Somewhere a little bit more removed. I'm not going to do any of my larger trees. Maybe we could put one in here. Yeah, let's go here maybe. Now these ones I am using the spruce saplings for. So let's put one right here. And then this, so for this one I'll need 10. And that should get us one of our large trees. Clearly I'm going to need to rework the ground a bit there. Yeah, but that is the solution that I came up with for growing custom trees in this world, and to be able to do it at a reasonable cost and in a reasonable amount of time. So I think I'm going to spend a little bit of time planting some custom trees. Welcome back. And you can now see the progress of minutes of work, not hours or days of work. And I haven't done all of the trees that I want to do, but as you can see, it is now much more filled in around here. You may also have noticed there are more orchards. So as I was kind of playing around with things, and I was concerned with having the pack ready to go, and I didn't want to tamper with it too much, so that, I would do something where it wouldn't work. I realized after I stepped away from it that I could very easily tweak a number of things to make it work a little bit better. So first and foremost, in the last clip you saw that I was growing spruce trees off of oak saplings. Well, that has now been remedied, and I can now grow spruce trees from spruce saplings, like that. But then as I thought about it more, I was like, oh, well, I wanted to do more orchards. I was like, well, maybe I can come up with, if I apply this in the right way, I should be able to use the trees that I've already created, and just add some other custom trees to the pack so that I could grow up my own trees. So let's see. I'm trying to make sure I have enough space to do this. That should work. So using this sapling, and I decided I would make, because these are some specialized materials, I thought 2 bone blocks would be an appropriate price for that. But there we go. So there is our apple tree. And then if we go over here, we have our pear tree orchard. And let's just place on there. Let's maybe bring it there. Did I throw the wrong thing at it? I spelled it wrong. Yep, that would do it. There we go. And there we go. We have a pear tree. So we've got our few more orchards filled in. I think I probably want to do a few more of those. But I want to fill in some other things because I want to have cropland and I want to have like grazing, like farmland type stuff. So yeah, lots to add. But I've been spending a lot of time flying around going, oh, I need more trees there. Oh, I need more trees there. I kind of feel like I need some more trees in this area over here. Probably some smaller ones. I gotta find my... There we go. Yeah, I think smaller ones would be good. It's tough to figure out places to stick them. But yeah, we'll maybe plant one there. I try to find areas where I'm not necessarily... Yeah, because this happens every so often. And then I have to try to find a dirt block to replace, which doesn't always work. Did I pick that up? I did pick that up. Yeah, so I've been having to go back and do that. I thought I had this all fixed, but apparently I do not. So little things that have to be tweaked here and there. But as you can see, if we look at it, this place is looking much more alive, much more finished. We have nice variation of different heights of trees and different things. So... coming along nicely. So, next thing I am going to work on is, you can see there's little places where I still need to build some other houses. As I said, I want to get some other fields planted and just bring a little bit more, yeah, just different things that we have in the area. I'm thinking I might do some flower fields. I have to look up and see what flowers we have in Minecraft that might be native to Norway, so that we can maybe have some things like that. Of course, I think about, like, you know, the tulip fields in the Netherlands. Probably would not quite be appropriate here, but I think we could still have something along those lines. It gives us a nice little pop of color here and there. So I'm going to get to work on all of that, and I will bring you guys back in a little bit. Welcome back, everyone. Much progress has been made. Unfortunately, there is much work still to do. But yeah, so let's take a look at things here. So, lots more trees over here. We've got a windmill in. I have finished all of the larger houses. So, between the last clip and this one, I had a little bit of a pivot on what I planned to do with this episode. Because I realized that, one, I was running out of time, and two, I you know, for having built this entire mountainside over here and the village within it, I still don't realize just how big this area is and just how much time it takes to put all the work into detailing and building. In the last 3 days, I've probably spent close to 10 hours working on various different things in the village here, and still have such a long way to go. So since I'm running out of time, running out of resources, and running out of energy, I think we're going to wrap it up, and I'll just kind of show you what I have been working on. So we've got some fields here, we've got some wheat, we've got some flowers, we've got some potatoes in there. And then I have added some houses. We got another windmill in here. Added this house over here. And then I've been going through and been doing fine detailing work in other parts of the town. So let's take a look at that. So basically just coming through here and bone mealing and adding grass and trees as needed so that it has that real, like, authentic, lived-in look. So I've got all of this area done in here. I know it's going to be hard to see from walking through. We'll pop into Spectator in a minute and take a little bit of a better look at things. But yeah, it feels like this is starting to get to... some of this is starting to get to a finished point. added a little pond in there. And yeah, this is what everything will eventually be. It's just not there yet, and it's not going to get there anytime too soon, just due to the sheer amount of time that it takes to do all this detailing work. So I've been kind of thinking in the back of my mind as I start to go into the next season. I think I'm gonna do a little segment called An Hour in Arendelle, where I'll do a short, maybe 30 to 60 second time lapse of an hour's worth of work, continuing the work over here. But yeah, little pumpkin patch in here with a scarecrow. And then, yeah, I think I did the detailing. This I've already done. I'm trying to remember what had been done before. I went and added a whole bunch of fences along the path here, and I know this was stuff that I had done before, and that's about the extent of it. So let's pop over into spectator mode. You can kind of get the larger view of all of this. But yeah, did some more tree work over here. I've been thinking, too, that in addition to the spruce trees, there are definitely, I want to say the word is deciduous trees that change color, and lose their leaves, as I've been looking at things. And so I think I probably want to add some trees like that. So I'll probably add those to the pack, either between episodes or sometime during the next season, but so that we can have even more variety. As you can see, we've got some of the fences up along here between these fields, and that is that. So I don't think I actually came in close on this house over here. But yeah, one of the more grand houses probably for the orchard that is here. And I don't know if I had showed this off or not, but we've got these houses in here, and then I've got trees over here, but I still haven't done any of the grass work to get it to that final state. But yeah, it's been a lot of work this week, but I'm happy with where things are, and I've gotten to the point where I am okay leaving off at this point, just realizing just how much more I'm going to have to do to get things finished up. And as I said, not trying to finish the project this season at this point, but we'll be working on it in the future. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to give it a like and share it with your friends. If you haven't already, I would encourage you to subscribe and make sure you click that little notification bell so you can stay up to date on all my latest posts. Be sure to follow me on social media. Thanks for watching. See you real soon.